Garry Hoy Incident. On July 9, 1993, a bizarre accident shocked Toronto's legal community. Garry Hoy, a 38-year-old corporate lawyer at the prestigious firm Holden Day Wilson, was attending a reception for law students. Hoy was known for a peculiar habit. He often demonstrated the strength of the building's windows by throwing his body against the glass. He had performed this stunt many times before without incident. That evening, on the 24th floor of the Toronto Dominion Center, Hoy decided to repeat his demonstration. As students gathered around, he backed up several steps and charged shoulder first into the floor-to-ceiling window. The impact echoed through the room. For a split second, everything seemed normal. Then came the sound no one expected. Not glass breaking, but the entire window frame popping out of its setting. The glass itself held firm, exactly as Hoy had intended to prove. But the entire window unit, frame and all, dislodged from the building wall. In an instant, Hoy's expression changed from confidence to shock. He disappeared through the opening, plummeting 24 floors. Witnesses rushed to the edge, unable to process what had just happened. Hoy fell 300 feet, conscious and aware during his descent, with just seconds to comprehend his fate. When he struck the courtyard below, the impact was fatal and immediate. Emergency services arrived within minutes, but there was nothing to be done. Garry Hoy died instantly from massive trauma. His death was ruled accidental, the result of a safety demonstration gone catastrophically wrong. Peachtree 25th Building Fire Incident. On June 30th, 1989, routine electrical maintenance turned deadly in Atlanta, Georgia. At the Peachtree 25th building, a 10-story office tower in the heart of the city, an electrician was replacing fuses in the main electrical panel. At approximately 10:30 a.m., something went terribly wrong. An electrical arc sparked, igniting nearby combustible materials. The fire spread with unexpected speed. Flames raced up through the building's utility shafts, creating a chimney effect. Within minutes, thick black smoke filled the upper floors. The building's fire alarm sounded, but many workers found themselves already trapped. The smoke was so dense that visibility dropped to near zero in stairwells. On the 8th floor, 5 workers huddled together in an office as smoke poured in under the door. They pressed wet clothing against the gaps, but the smoke continued to seep in. Each breath became more painful than the last. The room temperature climbed rapidly, reaching over 500 degrees. As oxygen levels dropped, they began experiencing confusion and disorientation. Their breathing became rapid and shallow. Through windows that wouldn't open, they could see fire trucks arriving below. 2 of them, desperate for air, broke the window with a chair. Faced with unbearable heat and no escape, they jumped. The fall lasted only seconds. Both died on impact with the pavement below. Inside, the other 3 succumbed to smoke inhalation. Their lungs filled with toxic gases, causing them to lose consciousness before cardiac arrest followed. By the time firefighters reached them, all 5 were dead. ITC Building Fire Incident. On October 29, 2002, a routine maintenance job turned catastrophic in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. At the International Trade Center, a 6-story complex housing shops and offices, welders were performing repairs on the 3rd floor. At 1:15 p.m., sparks from their equipment ignited decorative materials nearby. Within minutes, the small flame became an inferno. The building lacked adequate fire suppression systems. There were no sprinklers, and many fire extinguishers were empty or missing. As the blaze spread upward, thousands of people rushed toward exits. The stairwells quickly became clogged with panicked workers and shoppers. On the 5th floor, the marketing department of a textile company found their primary exit blocked by flames. 23 employees moved to the emergency stairwell, only to discover it filled with thick black smoke. The temperature in the corridor reached over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. As they retreated to their office, the smoke followed. Each breath became increasingly painful. The toxic fumes contained carbon monoxide and cyanide from burning plastics. These chemicals bound to their blood cells, preventing oxygen transport. Confusion set in as their brains were deprived of oxygen. Some pressed wet clothing over their faces, but it provided little protection. Through windows they could see people gathered below. Several tried to signal for help. As the smoke intensified, breathing became impossible. Their lungs burned with each inhalation. Consciousness faded within minutes. Firefighters wouldn't reach the 5th floor for another hour. By then, all 23 people had died from smoke inhalation and burns. In total, 60 people perished in the ITC building that day. FR Tower Fire Incident. On March 28, 2019, a fire broke out in Dhaka, Bangladesh that would become one of the deadliest office blazes in the country's history. The FR Tower, a 22-story glass and steel structure in the Banani commercial district, was filled with thousands of workers when smoke was first spotted around 12:50 p.m. The fire originated on the 7th floor, where faulty electrical wiring ignited flammable office materials. Within minutes, thick black smoke was pouring through the building. The structure, completed in 2007, had been built with numerous code violations. Emergency exits were inadequate, fire doors were missing, the sprinkler system failed to activate. As workers realized the danger, panic spread faster than the flames. On the 19th floor, a software company's staff found the stairwell completely dark and filled with smoke. The temperature had already reached 600 degrees in the central areas. 20 workers retreated to windows, gasping for air as the smoke followed them. They could see fire engines arriving below, but the truck's ladders reached only to the 13th floor. As oxygen levels dropped, breathing became increasingly painful. Each inhalation burned their lungs. Some began to lose consciousness from carbon monoxide poisoning. Others, faced with the choice between fire and falling, made the desperate decision to jump. Raman Sohel, a 26-year-old programmer, climbed onto the window ledge. Witnesses below watched as he hesitated briefly, then pushed off as flames appeared behind him. His fall lasted 3 seconds. The impact was fatal and immediate. Across the building, at least 4 others made the same choice. In total, 25 people lost their lives that day. CIBC building construction incident. On January 7, 1965, workers were completing the final stages of the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce headquarters in downtown Toronto. The 34-story tower was nearing completion, with some bank staff already working in the lower floors while construction continued above. That morning, 5 office employees and 2 construction workers entered a freight elevator on the 6th floor. The elevator was designed to carry heavy materials between floors, with a maximum capacity of 4,500 pounds. As it ascended past the 15th floor, something went catastrophically wrong. Witnesses on nearby floors reported hearing a loud snapping sound. The primary steel cable had failed, triggering a chain reaction that caused the secondary safety mechanisms to malfunction. The elevator cab immediately began to plummet. Inside, the 7 occupants felt a moment of weightlessness before gravity took hold. They fell at an accelerating rate, reaching an estimated speed of 40 miles per hour. The emergency brakes engaged but failed to stop the descent. For 8 terrifying seconds, they dropped through darkness. At the bottom of the shaft, the impact was devastating. The cab hit with such force that it compressed to less than half its original height. The floor buckled upward, crushing everyone inside. The human body cannot withstand such extreme deceleration. Internal organs tore from their attachments. Bones shattered instantly. Rescue workers arrived within minutes but found no survivors. All 7 occupants had died on impact from massive traumatic injuries. Blood seeped from beneath the crumpled elevator doors as workers frantically tried to access the cab. Mumbai office electrocution incident. On August 12, 2009, Rajesh Kumar, a 27-year-old tea delivery worker, was making his usual rounds in a commercial building in Mumbai's Andheri district. For 5 years, Kumar had delivered chai to the same offices, becoming a familiar face to workers throughout the building. That day, he carried his steel thermos and an aluminum ladder to access the mezzanine level. The building was undergoing partial renovations. On the 2nd floor, maintenance work had exposed electrical wiring near the ceiling. The wires carried 440 volts of current, more than 4 times the standard household voltage. They hung just 15 centimeters from the metal railing of the mezzanine. No warning signs had been posted. At approximately 2:30 p.m., Kumar climbed his ladder to deliver tea to the accounting office. As he reached the top step, the aluminum ladder shifted slightly to the left. The metal edge made contact with the exposed wiring. In that instant, the ladder became a perfect conductor. Electricity always seeks the path of least resistance to the ground. Kumar's body provided that path. The current entered through his hands and exited through his feet. Within milliseconds, the electricity disrupted his heart's natural rhythm. Witnesses reported seeing a bright flash and hearing Kumar cry out. His muscles contracted violently, causing him to fall from the ladder. The current continued flowing through his body for nearly 8 seconds before a circuit breaker finally tripped. By then, his heart had stopped completely. The internal damage was catastrophic. Despite immediate attempts at CPR by office workers, Rajesh Kumar was pronounced dead at the scene. If you want to see more videos like this, click the video on screen now and make sure to subscribe.